gentleman I have the pleasure of meeting on many occasions. Also, too, he's been getting some hits all over around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kenly Dillard. Give him a big hand.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, you're going to you're going to wrap it up here. I'm going to sit back here and I'm going to sit back here and absorb this learning, this teaching that you're going to be giving us, right? Okay. About procession and yeah, that's something with violence. Yeah, like we've been kind of going through a whole lot of that, right?
Oh yeah. Well.
Okay, we're going to start right now. I'm going to leave it to you, and ladies and gentlemen, this is Kenly Dillard.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody. All right. I've been on this show before. As you already know, I'm a cartoonist. And there seems to be this big thing about violence and guns and all types of stuff about a young man who shot a lot of people, shot his own mother. Can you believe that? Very sad. But this is what leads to me to dread us today. Early on, we were talking about mass media and how perception controls how you see things and whatnot. Now what we have right here is, I got a few ideas from some of the students here about a tank trying to bust into the gates of heaven. Now that brought up a lot of things, especially in my imagination, because here you have this big tank trying to literally blast its way into the gates, and then you have all of these little balls, these little cannonballs. When I draw cartoons, I like to make sure they represent something, because I just can't be drawing like a cartoon of somebody and just let it be a cartoon of somebody. It has to actually mean something. As you can well see, everything I have here is labeled in some form. Now right here we have the cannonballs, which says false belief. Now a lot of people put a lot of energy, a lot of their beliefs in a cannon and like to shoot things down just to feel safe. Okay? A lot of people trying to defend these beliefs but have their own ulterior motives. Okay? Like money, for example. A lot of people join these groups so they can make a lot of money so they can provide for their family and whatnot, no matter who they hurt, how they hurt them, or what they even try to go through to attain those needs. Another thing, a big factor, is fear. Okay? When it really cuts down to it, no matter how well you dress, no matter how much money you got, no matter who you know, how you know them, or even if you know yourself, end of the day, a lot of people don't want to admit that there's an animalistic tendency inside of anybody, which is why you have police officers, which is why you have all these people out there to make sure everything is okay, because it doesn't take much for a person to snap. So, as far as this soldier, and any soldier, out of fear and out of ulterior motive, they're trying to blast through what they perceive as heaven. Now, down here, we have these two soldiers talking amongst themselves, and it goes like this. Hey, it's kind of hot around here. Are you sure we're near heaven? Ah, shut up. You're getting paid well, and this looks heavenly. Notice I put the yellow yellow highlights under the word looks heavenly. Just get ready to take your shot of getting in. So everybody's trying with all their might, trying to bust through the gates of heaven. And over here you have the judge. I call them false authority. You see, in media, people like to talk about what's right and what's wrong, but what's right and what's wrong is all due to the motives and what people believe as right and wrong, what you're told to do. If you don't do certain things, you don't get certain rewards. If you do certain things, you get rewarded for it. But what if there was no prize? What if you didn't get anything for doing the right or wrong thing? Would it really mean anything? Probably not, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. So you have your authority, the media, or whatever you want to call it. Now right here, we have the superficial heaven. Now what I mean by superficial heaven, a lot of people, there's a lot of atheists out there, there's a lot of people who don't believe in God, but the funny part is, they believe in voodoo and all the rest of that stuff too. So, you know, how can you not believe in the light and believe in the dark and vice versa? Very double standard like. But what I mean by superficial heaven, I mean that peace of mind, that temporary peace of mind you have, like when you get paid, you get a paycheck. There's that fear that goes away for a while until you lose all that money again. There's that vacation. When let's say you go to a place like a Walt Disney World and whatnot, you have that release You have that temporary peace of mind for a while until you have to go back into reality. You know? So that superficial heaven is what people pay for. That's why you have those commercials that are so powerful. Oh, I have a problem. I have a toothache. Why don't you go to this dentist? Oh, there's gum on my shoe. How do I get it out? Buy the shoe polish. It's all about that temporary peace. It's about that superficial heaven. All right. Go moving right along. We have all of these lost souls, okay, who find out that when it's too late. Now, this is what I mean. This could represent so many things. What if they buy that product and it sucked? They gotta go through hell to be like, wow, I paid all this money for this product, it didn't work out for me. What's going on? You know, I believed in this product. I believed in the authority. I believed that if I try to bust down the gates of heaven, that I would get what I want. But in most cases, this is where the real deception is. You don't always get what you want, and chances are, the weapons, the means that it took to get those things wasn't quite worth it. But in the end of the day, guess who's laughing? Guess who's rolling the film? Guess who's watching you? And when all these numbskulls over here don't see what was behind the scenes the entire time. Now, this may be the devil. But the devil could represent a lot of things. And he has something to say to all of you. This will be the best part of the movie. Yeah, when I fire all the puppets. Which could mean anybody. It could mean a consumer. It could mean a soldier. It could mean a warrior. It could mean a student. It could mean a child. It could mean anybody who believes in the false authority. Okay? So I close this off right here. And this is all I gotta say. For those who fire away and get in, usually can't fire their way out. And that's the way it is. Thank you, everybody.
Wow. I would like to ask you, do you have work on YouTube or online?
Facebook. Go ahead.
Yes, actually, I do have a blog spot. I'm at Kenly Dillard at Kenly Dillard at blogspot.com, and I'm also on Facebook. If you want to see even more of my work, I'm very protective of it. Yeah, just Google my name, Kenly Dillard, and my cartoons will come up.
Thank you.
Did you spell your last name?
That's KenlyDillard. Kenly Dillard.
Thank you very much.
My question is, would you describe, or what is the relationship between art and symbolism for you?
Okay, that's great.
Well, for me, my cartoons mean a lot to me, and I work very hard so that everybody can understand what I'm drawing. Okay, there's nothing more discouraging when you draw something. Like, you can look at, let's say, a superhero and whatnot. What makes a superhero super? You know what I mean? It ain't super unless they mean something. Okay, if they represent righteousness, if they represent whatever. My whole thing is to not only draw well, but to make sure it means something, so this way someone can get something out of it. Get what I'm saying? It's not just me doodling. No, I don't doodle. I draw with a purpose.
Who else?
Anyone, someone, I think she.
When I looked at this, it looks like art. It has such a story. I went to Harlem and I saw Romare, what's his name? Right. And he has collages, in different collages. I mean, it's beautiful. Have you ever thought about taking something like this and putting it on an easel and actually framing it?
I have. I draw, like I said, I draw a lot. I draw in a lot of different medium. I mainly like doing paper and pen. Plain and simple, I watercolor and, let's say, watercolor paper. Whatever I choose is like, I don't have a main preference, but I fit into whatever I choose.
Okay, Maxine.
Okay, I would like to know, how long have you been doing this?
Before I knew I had a brain. Been drawing all my life. In fact, this would be my 30th year drawing.
Wow.
So I'm very happy about that. Thank you.
Yes, I have a question. What you're saying here is very inspirational. It tells you a lot of stories. What did you go through? Was it because of your experience? Is it because of your knowledge? How did you come up with all of these theories? Because it definitely makes sense. But what did you do, like analyst, research? How did you come up with all of this?
I would have to say everything.
Experiences?
Everything. Not just experiences, because I did experience a lot of things. I read a lot. I've listened to a lot of different sources. This is not something I've just made up. Because, you know, going through life, I grew up on cartoons. But the more I got into the art form and where it came from and doing the studying and people who work in the industry, and then it went beyond cartoons, then it went to music, then it went to commercials, then it went to this, and I realized everything is connected. So I realized one is not eliminated from the other, it's not excluded. Okay, so when I draw like this, when I draw something like this, I'm not trying to be a fear monger and say, be afraid of this, be afraid of that. No, you have really nothing to be afraid of for two reasons. One, when you're dealing with media, the person can either believe in what you put out or they don't. Okay, so really it's the people who watch your stuff who has the power to interpret those things and determine whether it'll have power over them or will it empower them, or they could just tell it to go away.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the people have the power. You see, the question is, can they relate to the message or the drawing that you put out there? And in my life, I've been like a sponge. I've absorbed a lot of things, but now I know what not to absorb.
I was told that this is a cutthroat industry. Who has the power to blacklist you? And have you had any experiences that make people to open their eyes to what you're showing us? Because you see, you have here violence, false authority, superficial heaven. Are you trying to awaken us and let us know, hey, don't be a fool, keep your eyes open, be aware of what's going on out in Hollywood? That's the point you're trying to get across? And also, who has the power to blacklist you?
I'll put it like this, ladies and gentlemen. The day a man or a woman tries to imitate the life of a mouse and realize they can't fit in the mouse's hole.
Wow. He's good.
Is when people will wake up. Now, when I realize I'm a man and I can't fit in the mouse's hole, and I'm not a cat, so I can't be pussy whipped, pardon the pun, I realize that, hey, I'm not a mouse, I'm not a cat, I'm not the wall, I'm not the hole. What am I? I'm a man with my own mind. So what ended up happening, like, as far as Bollywood, which is really Hollywood, yeah, I'm not just awakening you. You're given a choice to either wake up or go back to sleep. You see, I'm not the one that's gonna put the water on you. You chose that for yourself. You have a brain of your own. Okay, the same way these people could tell you what's right and wrong, you can decide for yourself what is right and wrong. Be quite frank with you, and that's what most people are afraid of. They're afraid that you're gonna wake up, because the day you realize you have all the imagination, you have all the power, you won't need their products anymore.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then what they're gonna do? Then you'll become their competitor. You're invested in yourself, so this way you can invest in your talent.